Well, here we are. Another exciting episode, Toxic Reality Show. I'm your host, Gordon Nathaniel. And this one's going to be a bit of a doozy. Some of you all ain't going to be able to handle this. My apologies as I get some of the apparatus going. But here we are. Listen, today's topic, the 5 characteristics of a toxic girlfriend or wife in a relationship. Again, 5 characteristics of a toxic girlfriend or wife in a relationship. This one, gentlemen, I got people up in the chat already. Let's see. We got everything ready, so we're ready to jump in. So here we go. This topic first requires that you understand what exactly is a toxic relationship. Now, I know you see everyone call men narcissists and gaslighting. Basically, anytime you can't make a man do what you want him to do, you call him a narcissist. Right? And here we are. Let's get to the real literal definition of what a toxic relationship is. Before we get going, I'm going to need you guys, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe, get notifications. It costs you nothing, but it's a way that you can help out the show and help us to get the viewers and be able to do the research and the support to get you the information you need to be better informed about making these decisions to not put yourself in a situation where you are a red flag. So do that for me. Again, I'm your host, Gordon Nathaniel, Toxic Reality Show, and we're going to jump right into this topic. So let's start with, right out the gate, what is a toxic relationship? Right? And a toxic relationship is, it's one where you're consistently undermined. That your sense of well-being, your happiness, and at times your safety are in jeopardy. Now, occasionally disagreements or conflicts are normal in any relationship, but hear me clearly, a continual pattern of emotional harm, disrespect, and manipulation can lead to deterioration of your mental and emotional health. That, my friends, is a better definition of what a toxic relationship means. So, we're here to talk about the 5 characteristics of a toxic wife or girlfriend in a relationship, right? So let's start with number 1. Lack of support. Right? Now, what does that mean? What does lack of support mean? Well, what it means is instead of feeling uplifted and encouraged, the interactions with her leave you feeling belittled, make you feel inadequate. It also makes you feel like someone's sabotaging you, and they could outrightly be sabotaging you as well. Trying to destroy and ruin your dreams because they're not a dreamer. Because they're in fear of losing you. And if you do better with support, then they're afraid that they're going to lose you and lose power. So that's number 1, lack of support. Number 2, persistent unhappiness. Now, the key word in that is persistent. Because you know what? There are going to be times in a relationship where you're going to be unhappy, right? Everyone gets unhappy in a relationship. It's normal. But when the relationship is plagued by constant tension from her, constant arguments, and even arguments for the argument, or feelings of dissatisfaction. You argue, you make up, and then they're arguing because of something you said during the makeup. They're just unhappy. They're miserable. And they're sucking the lifeblood and energy out of you when they're persistently unhappy. Number 3, there's a communication breakdown. What does that mean? It means the conversations turn to insults, right? They turn to accusations, or you were doing this, or your infidelity, or it could be complete silence. They just ghost you. Now, there's a difference, and many men, the way they avoid conflict is to shut down. Because a lot of times when you're in a discussion with a woman, a lot of times their way of bonding emotionally is through the discussion, the argument. And then you come out on the other end of it and they're happy and her and her girlfriend are friends again. With guys, you can't do that. We want to avoid conflict. We want to avoid war. We're trying to avoid physical interaction. But they're insulting you. They're making accusations, questioning your manhood, all the things. So what do most men do? They shut down because they're like, I don't want to fight this woman. I don't want to fight my wife. Physically, confrontational. Don't want to fight my wife. Don't want to fight my girlfriend. And they would interpret that as the man shutting down, when essentially what's happening is the man is saying, I don't want to fight you. And choosing peace so there's a better opportunity to have the conversation. So there's a communication breakdown, right? Leaving issues unresolved and feelings unheard, right? So we're going to get to number 4, which is, oops, we went too far. We're going to go ahead and bring it back. We started with lack of support. We went to number 2, which is persistent unhappiness. Number 3 is there's a communication breakdown. Number 4 is control and dominance. And what does that mean? Control and dominance is a partner may dictate who the other person can see. She's telling you, oh, I don't want you hanging out with him. I don't like them, or that family member, or that guy, or that place. They're dictating what you're allowed to do. Oh, no, you're not allowed to have more than one drink. You're not allowed to have any dinner without me. You're not allowed to do this without me, or that. Or they also want to dictate how you should think or how you should feel about any particular issue, whether it be politics. Like, oh, you're listening to the toxic reality show. I don't want you listening to Gordon. And they're trying to control and dominate you in a way that's sometimes a form of emasculation, because they have accepted a masculine role as a modern woman. That's something a traditional woman wouldn't do. She would let a man be a man. But a modern woman wants to control and dominate the man because she herself has adopted those roles of a man. And finally, neglect and manipulation. Emotional needs, your emotional needs are consistently disregarded. That's a red flag. They don't care about how you feel because their happiness is the only thing that's important. Your happiness is not. It's all about them. That's narcissism. That's selfishness. Even when you're having a conversation, and should you get a modern woman to apologize, which is rare. But even then, the argument will turn to why you caused it and never taking accountability for their role. So they manipulate you, and the manipulation often keeps you in a state of compliance or guilt. You know, Ben always like, yes, dear, you know, happy wife, happy life. It's a way of saying that when men make that statement, you're saying you are operating in a state of compliance no matter what. You're just like, I'm just going to say yes. I'm not going to listen to the toxic reality show. I'm not going to listen to Gordon because then I'm not going to get any sex at night, or girls aren't going to talk to me if I stand up for myself as a man and follow masculinity. Taishi said, good evening, everyone. What's going on, Taishi? So that's what's happening. You got neglect and manipulation, right? They'll just ignore you. If you don't comply, then there's no sex. And manipulate you into making the decisions that they want you to do, or you're just disregarded. Your needs and want. You know, it's funny. They'll say that they want you to be emotionally connected as a man, but then when you show your emotion, they call you're a wimp. You're a weak man. So which one is it? You see, there's a difference again between a modern woman who seeks to manipulate you and control you, dominate you, communicate, lack of communication, always unhappy. They're miserable. And they don't want to support you either. So why are you there? This is a red flag. So you ask yourself, what? How do you get out of this? You have two options. You either leave said relationship because the narcissist and gaslighter, it's so hard for them to see that in themselves. Even when you threaten to leave, they're gonna go ahead and try to control and dominate you and manipulate you. I can't believe you're leaving me with these kids. I can't believe you're doing this. When they are quick to seek their own happiness. I choose my happiness. F the kids. F my marriage. F my commitment in front of my family and witnesses and everyone. My happiness is more important. But if you say that, you're a narcissist, misogynist pig. So one option is just leave altogether. Your second option, you have to study the narcissism. You have to study the tools and techniques of gaslighters. And what you're going to have to do is learn to put your needs first, regardless of what they say. It's almost like an episode of The Exorcism. You just keep praying and following your path. Don't listen to anything that comes out of their mouth. You can equally be concerned about and prioritize your wants and needs while preserving the wants and needs of your spouse, girlfriend in this relationship. You see, people, toxic wives and girlfriends can't do that. It's solely about them. It's not about the relationship, the children. It's all about their happiness, irregardless of facts of how it's going to destroy or reduce the children's chances of having a happy, fulfilled life. Don't care. They don't care. But if you should choose to stay in this relationship, it's not enough. You're going to have to read. You're going to have to get some insight and knowledge. And I'm going to also do a video about the techniques, what you can do to fight the narcissism or really leave the toxic relationship. It's not your job to fix someone else. They have to want to be fixed themselves. You're here on this, listening to this show because you want to learn. Toxic people don't want to. They know everything. They just want to stay unhappy, not support you, sabotage you, control you, neglect you, manipulate you, and not even talk to you. How is that a partnership? How is that a relationship? No, my friend, that's toxic. Again, who am I? Gordon Nathaniel. invite you to please like and subscribe, support the show, share it with someone. I know what I'm talking about is going to touch and save somebody's life and make it happier. There's some tough decisions that you have ahead. I'm glad that you're here with me and to support this show. Please like, subscribe, get notifications so we can grow and provide more fact-based content for you. God bless.